Dealing with the aftermath of a terrorist attack is something no family should have to endure. On this day, least of all. Our cover story is from David Martin.
Good job, good swings.
Kato Martinez and his children on a perfect spring day in the suburbs of San Antonio.
Get underneath it.
But this is no field of dreams. This is a family trying to wake from a nightmare.
The last thing I remember before the blast was my mom laughing.
That blast was a suitcase bomb in Brussels airport last year.
Stay down, stay down.
Just as the Martinez family was checking in for a trip to Disney World in Florida. Kiyanni is the family's oldest child.
I just saw fire, burned bodies, body parts. And I looked down at my leg, and there was white sticking out of it. And I realized after a couple seconds that the person that I heard screaming was myself.
How close were you to the bomb, do you think?
I was probably less than 6 feet.
Less than 6 feet.
Yes, sir. I don't know how I survived.
Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Kato Martinez, a communications officer who worked with Special Operations Forces, was just back from Afghanistan.
You were probably closer to the enemy in Brussels airport than you were in Afghanistan.
Probably, sir. And I've been to some bad places in Afghanistan.
Amid the mayhem, he found his wife, Gail.
She was laying on her back. Her leg was blown off and below the knee. I went to her as fast as I could and put a tourniquet on her leg to stop the bleeding, check her vitals, and there was no one there.
I saw my dad, and he was cradling Mama. Her eyes were closed, and he was screaming.
The other children, aged 7, 9, and 12 at the time, were nowhere in sight.
I couldn't find my 3 youngest. So I thought because they were so young and so small, they were vaporized or torn apart.
Paramedics carried Kiyanni outside on a stretcher.
And then they brought out my mom. She was smiling, but she wasn't breathing, and I knew she was gone. And then they brought out Daddy to lie down right next to me. And for a while, we just lied there as he held my hand. But then his grip started loosening.
I felt the darkness just surrounding me, and I just wanted to give in to it. Just quietly go into the night and go to sleep. I just told her before I closed my eyes, I love you, and just, if you see the kids, take care of them.
I said, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And so when the first responders came with some oxygen masks, they tried to put it on me because I was the child. But I started flailing around and screaming at them to put it on Daddy to make sure he was alive.
So your daughter brought you back.
She did. She saved me that day.
The younger children, Noelani and Kailani, were small enough to be shielded from the full fury of the blast by baggage piled around them at the check-in counter. 12-year-old Kimo was shielded by his father.
Had I not been in front of him in the bags, he would have taken a face full of shrapnel.
Still, Kimo was badly burned by the fireball.
3rd-degree burns and 40% of his body. Skin and fat burned all the way down to the muscle. We didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Kiyanni's left leg was so badly injured, doctors thought they would have to take it off below the knee.
It was cold, it was blue. There was nothing flowing to it because I had lost so much bone, so much muscle, and so many nerves that they thought that it would be better for me to have it amputated. But then as a last-ditch effort, they decided to do an arterial graft from this leg and put it into this leg. So it really was a miracle surgery.
6 months later, she performed her own miracle, standing on that leg for a full 5 seconds. It was her 18th birthday. Less than a month later, she was walking.
Man, look at that.
Now she's running, although she'll have to wear that uncomfortable brace for the rest of her life. Kiyanni also came close to losing her right arm to a piece of shrapnel which left that nasty scar.
I don't hide my scars. I've come to the conclusion that while my scars are visible, they don't define me.
It's your Purple Heart.
Yes, sir.
Kato's scars are not as visible.
I got 2 pieces of shrapnel on my spine, and I've still got 15 pieces in my right foot, so every day is painful.
Physical pain is the least of it for a veteran of 2 combat tours.
You can't prepare for when they bring that war to your house, and they bring it to your family, and they take away your wife. All my training experience went out the window when I was holding my wife in my arms. I failed my children and my wife.
That sense of failure almost drove him to suicide.
I had that gun in my mouth, and I thought about it. Then I realized that no matter how dark it could be and how lonely I feel about what's going on with me, I knew it was a selfish act. I've got 4 little kids that rely on me. What are you looking for? Okay, I'll heat this up.
Now he's Mr. Mom,
You're gonna splatter something.
finding out what it takes to raise a family.
Okay, is it finished yet? Because I'm hungry.
Between cleaning and cooking and taking the kids to their respective extracurricular activities in school, I broke down and said, look, I gotta hire someone to do this. So twice a month I have a cleaning crew come in.
You realize what you're telling me. You're going out on deployments with Special Operations Force, and you come back and you break down over cleaning?
I can lead a team of men and women out in combat. But man, I gotta tell you, it's so hard to be a father of 4 kids.
Lieutenant Colonel Martinez is back on active duty, this time a desk job,
Turn the glove.
which gives him more time with his kids.
Good form, good throw.
Chemo has an arm like a cannon, his dad says, but the scar tissue from his burns is so tight that just dropping into a squat is a small victory. And his hand will need more surgery before he can properly grip a bat.
You're going to come all the way back, you think?
I think so, even better.
San Antonio is the 10th place the Martinez family has called home as they've moved from post to post around the world.
When somebody asks you, where's home, what do you tell them?
Well, for me, home is Mama. She's the constant.
Now it's a home filled with pictures of someone no longer there, a wife and mother who was murdered by 3 terrorists who wheeled suitcase bombs into the Brussels airport.
This whole house, there's always a reminder of Christmas.
We wish we could tell you the dark days are over, that good has triumphed over evil, but we can't.
I still suffer from doubt, from severe depression, from hopelessness, from guilt, regret.
Kiyanni is starting college with wisdom no 18-year-old should have.
I have a different mindset now going forward. I'm not afraid to die. I'm more afraid of wasting a day and regretting not doing something important like saying I love you to my family.
You know things other people don't know.
If I can touch at least one person, even if that's a teenager like me in college, to pick up the phone and call their parents and say, thank you for everything, I love you, then I've made a difference. And that's all that I need.